Okay, so in today's video I have got week 10 of my 365 days art challenge, so if you want to see what I do in this one then keep on watching. Okay, so I first of all started with this basically colouring one. It's a fruit bowl, as you can see, but it says on there to kind of like challenge your mind and change the colours of the fruit. So because this is, I think this is number 5, yeah, number 5 in the book, I have sort of, as I flick through to find different ones to do, I have looked at this one quite a lot, like pretty much every week I look at this one, and every single time I look at it I just think of like purple bananas, and I don't know if that's because that's like something I've seen elsewhere, like I don't know, I have no idea, but every time I looked at it I just thought of purple bananas. So they were the first ones that I did, and then I went for green oranges, and then for like the apples I thought, oh, what colour could I use, and I was like, oh, I'll go for yellow, realising that actually a lot of apples do kind of look a little bit yellow, and I thought, well, there's no other colours I could go for, until I then got to the pear and realised that I could have gone for blue, I could have gone for pink, there are so many other ones that I could have done, but with the colour scheme that I had already kind of gone for, I wanted to pick a colour that would kind of go along with it. So I picked the yellow and then did some sort of like orange shading on it. There was some that I just did fully yellow, like more of like a washed out yellow, and then there was one that I did a couple that I did a little bit more orange. I suppose that's like, it's different a little bit because when you think of an apple you either think of red or green. I know obviously apples can have different shades of those colours in, obviously sometimes meaning that they are a little bit yellow or they are a little bit orange, but I went with this anyway, and I think although it's not that far from reality, they fit well with the colour scheme, especially since I did sort of like pink leaves and the pear was also blue, so I've kind of got a little bit of each colour in there, and then obviously with the red bowl, kind of making them stand out a little bit more. And then I just did some sort of detailing with pencils, and then on the pear and on some of the leaves I did a bit more dot work detailing. So on the pear I did some dot work, and then on the leaves I just added a few more like what are they called, like the lines to, you know, define it a little bit. I don't know what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean. I just added some of those in, and then yeah, as you saw, just did a little bit more detailing with coloured pencils just to add a bit more shade and yeah, like shadows and definition to it. And then the second one I did was this one, which was another really simple one, just sort of like a little colouring one basically. This was sort of another like colour theory one, putting the different colours down to see sort of what colour combinations look good together. Obviously you've got the background colours there, so green is the example one that they did already, and then you've got obviously yellow, red, blues, pinks, greens to kind of play around with. So for most of these I kind of use similar colours, because then you can see how certain colours are going to look against others, if that makes sense. So obviously I've used sort of the same shades of green, the same shades of orange on these ones, so you can see how it looks compared to green, compared to blue, and how all of those colours would tie in together if you was actually putting it in a piece together. The one thing I kind of did do, as you can see now, was I kind of moved the position of where I was putting each of the colours, because I didn't want it to just kind of look like rows of exactly the same. I still wanted this to kind of be, although it's not like artwork, I still wanted, as you flick through it, to kind of be like a standout piece, and I thought if everything's just in like uniform rows it's going to look really odd. So yeah, I still filled in the gaps sort of separate to each other and didn't sort of overlap them too much, but that was that one. And then I moved on to this one, which was just drawing loads of different stars. So I did some in coloured pencil, and then I did some in watercolour as well. I wanted to do sort of like some bigger ones, some smaller ones, some different styles of star, and that also included obviously using the two different mediums. So I used watercolour and then the coloured pencils, but I did also use different colours, as you can see. I did some a little bit more orange, I did some completely yellow, and you can see the two coloured pencils that I have in sort of off the side. I did yellow and orange coloured pencils as well, just to again kind of add a little bit of something extra there. Obviously you've got the different shapes of the star, and you've got the two different mediums, but I wanted to add in some different colours as well. Yeah, I kind of stuck to watercolour for the bigger stars, and then for the smaller ones I mainly went for the coloured pencils. I just felt like that kind of made sense, just to fill in gaps with the coloured pencils rather than painting in tiny little gaps. But yeah, I really like this one, and I actually tried out a few different styles of star that I've never tried before, that I kind of copied from the example ones. So yeah, it just kind of goes to show that these prompts do actually help sort of further your artwork and further what you kind of do, because I had never actually, you know, done those styles of stars before, so it helped me sort of branch out a little bit into something a little bit different. In this next one, I basically had to paint the ocean from memory. So to begin with, I was literally going to do just the ocean, sort of as if, you know, it had been just like a picture just taken off the water. I decided to go with sort of like a beach scene instead, sort of like a horizon painting, just because I feel like I can pull that better from my memory rather than just the actual sea or the ocean, because I kind of felt like if I did that I was just going to paint it blue and then try and put some waves on it, and it just wasn't really going to look like anything. And to be fair, once I finished this, I do like it, but I feel like if I hadn't have done it from my memory and I'd done it from a reference photo, it would look a lot better. There would be a lot more to it. But I haven't actually been to the beach probably for over a year because the weather has just been awful. But yeah, I haven't really been, I guess. I used to a lot when I was younger, but now, yeah, I mean, the weather's not great, so we haven't been. But yeah, this is kind of just what I managed to kind of pull. So I just sort of put some base colours down, and then as you can see with the water, I just kind of added in some depth and definition, and then I added in some white along the like sand line as well, and then over some waves as well to kind of again make it look like there was a little bit more depth and a little bit more something to it. But yeah, not a great fan of that one, but it's okay. This one was basically things that I can, like hobbies that I have to relax. So just put like listening to music, drawing, driving, going for walks. I can't remember what else I put on there actually. But yeah, you know, just general things that people enjoy to kind of relax. This one was just shadows, so where like the light source was, and then building shadows from that, so it makes you think a little bit more sort of where would the shadow appear if the light source is over there. Yeah, pretty simple one, but I just added the shadows in, you know, where I thought that they would be. So yeah, I kind of just did them all the same colour. I could have definitely sort of changed the colour of them, but just for that exercise I just kind of kept it all the same. This one, I've done one similar to this before. It just says call someone up and doodle while you have a chat with them. So I was actually just watching TV, just having a little doodle, basically. That's what I did with this one. So yeah, while I'm doing that, I'm also just going to explain the fact that my intro and outro are not actually flipped anymore. I feel like I've overcome my obsessive compulsive need to flip all of my intros and outros, because obviously like that whole thing of, you know, the way you see yourself is flipped to the way that other people see you. So yeah, I have sort of gotten over that. Apparently there will still be some videos with it flipped because I already have some edited and scheduled, but hopefully from now on they won't all be flipped. They will actually be the correct way round. But yeah, I just thought I would kind of explain that because it is probably a little bit confusing. So that was everything that I did this week for my 365 days of art challenge. If you want to see next week's, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned for next week's. Bye.